Hello and welcome everyone to the Thursday Night Cup Series here for the Trader Joe's 200 in the ISCA Racing League. Definitely happy to be here. Of course, we just wrapped up the Super Cup Championship last week, I do believe. Mark Pageant able to bring home the dub there, and definitely was a great race for him for sure. We got a great race here tonight also. Of course, the Cup Series still ongoing, a championship still, possible here for some of these drivers out here. Of course, I do believe after this race, 3 more races in the Cup Series playoffs here, so we'll have to wait and see how that all goes. Of course, my name is Brian Britt. I'm joined in the booth by Big Al. How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good, Brian. Back here in the land of Oz, I guess one would say.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it. Back here in Kansas, and it wasn't even that long ago we were here before, so wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of, I'd say, overlap with the setups here tonight. That's going to be one thing I think to keep an eye on to see the guys that were maybe good last time at Kansas. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I mean, I know that this place definitely does favor the top side of the racetrack. Of course, I think in the short run you can run the bottom, but I'm pretty sure tire wear is significant here at this track. And the last few weeks, Big Al, I mean, the tire wear has been significant at every track we've been to.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of that has to do with the smaller fuel capacity that these guys do run here. That definitely does seem to play a little bit of a role in it, if you will. But yeah, hopefully tonight it won't be as bad. But I definitely do believe, though, it should probably play into it a little bit here in Kansas.
Well, let's take a little gander here at the points here for the Cup Series. Mark Pageant, of course, coming off of a big championship there with the Super Cup Series. He is in the lead in the points here for the Cup Series also with 2 wins on the season so far. Matt DeCiani sitting in second place with 1 win. Jeffrey Souza in third with 1 win. Kenny Powell, he's in fourth. Derek Heitman, fifth. Greg Wachinski, sixth. Al Kozlowski, seventh. Clayton Hoffman, of course, eighth in the points here, but I do not believe he's going to be making it here tonight. We'll have to wait and see, of course, as we get closer and closer. We're in qualifying now, so time is definitely running out. But, points-wise, fairly close here, I'd say, between Mark Pageant and Matt DeCiani and Jeffrey Souza. Of course, Pageant definitely has a little bit of a buffer. We'll have to see what he can do. My eyes are going to be on that 76 of Derek Heitman. He has been just nothing but some shocking, I'd say, and surprising in how good he's been doing. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And every time we go somewhere, it's always the first time Heitman's been there. So now that we start to double up on these tracks, he won't have that line to use anymore. And I definitely will start to see if he gets any faster.
Yeah, that's a good point. He does. Usually every track, he's the first time he's been there, that's what's really shocking about it. That how good he does. I mean, you rarely see that kind of pace. From a driver that has first time being there at a track, especially a Phoenix or some of those tracks that are very interesting and unique. That at a mile and a half, you can kind of know what you got to do, but at Phoenix, it's hard to know what you really have to do there.
Yeah, and I don't care. The dynamics of these cars is completely different than any other sim. I mean, the code that is written in for iRacing isn't like it is in NASCAR Heat 98. So yeah, good on them.
I do believe qualifying, of course, is underway. A little bit under 3 minutes here remaining. Don Avery right now at the pole with a 30.432, so definitely a very quick lap there for him. Al Kozlowski just took over second place. You see Mark Pageant's trying to get his qualifying in right now. I think qualifying is going to be pretty important here, Big Al, just considering how hard it is to pass at this racetrack. I mean, in the beginning, it's not going to be. You're going to be able to use the bottom and stuff like that. But as the run goes on and it starts progressing to the top lane, it's going to be so hard to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the reason why not only is it going to be a big deal for you qualify, but it's that pit position as well. That's going to be another thing that's going to play into the factor when these guys, especially when we get to the third stage.
Yeah, speaking of the race facts here, almost forgot. I'm glad you said something about stages. Stage 1, of course, is going to conclude on lap 25 going to 26. Stage 2 concludes 50 going to 51. Of course, 134 laps here scheduled tonight. 5 sets of tires, so I do believe that means they're going to have 4 down in the pits. 46 laps is the fuel window, so won't really have to worry about pitting in the first stage. Of course, you probably will want to pit just to get those fresh set of tires, because I do believe the fall off is going to be probably at least a second or more. We'll have to wait and see how that kind of progresses. But of course, they will have to have green flag pit stops in that final stage, and that's the part we all love, isn't that right, Big Al?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the guys get a chance to totally let their strategies come to fruition, that's what we'd like to see, because when they get a chance to develop their own race strategy, that's what I'm looking forward to.
100%. Well, taking a look at the track facts and weather here, of course, this is a 1.53, so it's not really a mile and a half. It's close in Kansas City, of course. 75 degrees air temp, so kind of cool. Nice day out there for some racing for sure. Track net temp is 79 degrees. Now, the wind direction is to the southeast, and it's over 10 mile an hour. I mean, that could affect the handling of these race cars.
And it could not.
We'll have to wait and see, and it looks like qualifying is starting to wrap up here, so we'll go ahead and take our step away, play the national anthem. We'll be right back with your grid.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Driver, start your engine!
At Trader Joe's, we do things a little differently, and our customers hold us to a very high standard. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. We work hard to live up to the high standard you've come to expect of us. We travel the world to bring you unique, exciting, exotic products, as well as the basics like milk, eggs, and butter, all at the very best prices every day. We also believe that a satisfying shopping experience is about more than just good products. We want you to enjoy shopping at Trader Joe's. The upbeat crew members, the samples of wonderful foods served up by our great demo crew, so you'll come back often and bring your family and friends too. And how's this for unique? We're so confident that you'll be happy with the products you find at Trader Joe's, we even have a distinctive guarantee. We've tried it and we liked it, but if you don't, just bring it back for a full refund. Thanks for listening.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the grid set for this evening's action here at Kansas. Derek Heitman going to be starting up on the pole. Definitely a great lap there for him, 30.173. That is the pole time. Don Avery going to start in second place. Third place going to belong to Greg Wachinski, with fourth place Al Kozlowski. Fifth place going to be Mark Pageant, with sixth place being Matt DeCiani. Seventh place Kenny Powell. Eighth place Andrew Griesbaum. Ninth place Wes Dobbs. Definitely glad to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Darren Mullins rounding out our top 10.
Yep, that's going to put Josh Schaffner in 11th, with Wayne Grassi in 12th, and Derek Jacobs rounds out the 13-car field here for us this evening.
Yeah, not the biggest field, but we know that in the ISCA, they don't need the biggest field, Big Al. I mean, they always put on a show regardless, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Waiting on these guys to get the call to action here as they get ready to pull off of pit road. Should be any time now. Definitely a great job from Heitman getting that track position. We'll have to see what everybody else can do here. Who's got the long run car? I think that's what it's going to be pretty important here at this race. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it, though, and who's going to have what it takes to get the victory here. Definitely looking forward to Thanksgiving, though. I do believe in 2 weeks we're going to be having some turkey.
Yeah, I can tell you're not a turkey.
Huh? What?
Yeah, turkeys aren't saying that right about now.
No, they're definitely not. Yeah, 100%.
Talk about putting your life on notice. Man, if you're a turkey right now, they're letting you know that, hey, guess what, bud? Here in 2 weeks, you're going to be getting, unless you get the pardon from the president.
Yeah, I hope there's no turkeys out there watching this race here tonight. It might be a little traumatizing.
I know. I mean, seriously.
Tuning in to watch their favorite driver, and then they're put on notice.
I wonder who the turkeys would like.
I don't know. Who do you think? I got to hear this.
The turkey's going to flock with Keselowski.
Oh, man.
No, just kidding. Man, it's awesome what Keselowski does with the 88 Speedway Angels. He takes kids that are terminal pretty much and gets them a Speedway experience. So kudos on the 88 car and now Keselowski and everything those guys do.
Yeah, that's definitely good on him to do that for those kids. Definitely love that. Definitely heartwarming as we get ready to have the pace car dive down pit road and we get the green flag, getting ready to get this thing underway.
Derek Heitman actually going to be leading us off here for the first time, I do believe, in a long time. Green flag's out now. Heitman wasting no time getting going. Greg Wyszynski's going to be pulling up on the back end. My main man, Don Avery, not getting the best starts of all, as he is now going to be fighting for his life on the high side, as Mark Padgett's going to be pulling on the inside, dragging Kenny Powell along behind.
Yeah, Don Avery definitely looking a little bit off the pace right now as Kenny Powell goes side by side. Of course, that is for, I do believe that is actually for fifth place there. I don't know. He's starting to get the speed back now. Oh, Kenny Powell almost gets clear as they are racing hard, going down on the apron here at Kansas.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of help here with Andrew Griesbaum coming up, but I don't think that's going to be quite enough. It's Al Keselowski now in that Speedway Angels 88 tucked along inside the 11 of Don Avery. And one thing to note, too, once these cars get around each other, man, that air gets dirty, Brian.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's what's going to cause the majority of handling woes here at this racetrack. It's probably going to be the dirty air. Look at Griesbaum watching the cockpit camera now. Huge run on the top here. That's what I love about Kansas.
And I think if you watch Griesbaum, the majority of the evening, he is going to be running that high side. That's where he finds his comfort zone, and I think that's where he's going to be hanging out at for the majority of the evening, as now he is pushing the 24 Kenny Powell. Powell up to third place now. Coming on the inside, getting a little bit tight there with Derek Heitman, as Greg Wyszynski is going to be running out to the lead. 3 wide later back in the pack. Griesbaum gets into the wall there. Just a little bit of a scuff. Still 3 wide as Keselowski's on the inside. Padgett finds himself in the middle, just trying to back out a little bit so he can live to fight another day, Brian.
A lot of battling going on right now. These guys are fighting for every bit of real estate they can get, but Greg Wyszynski's probably loving every bit of this as he pulls away off into this Kansas sunset. Derek Heitman side by side with Kenny Powell, touching almost. I do believe there could be a little bit of contact going on right now.
If there ain't, there will be, as they're continuing to come across that start-finish line, and now Kenny Powell has his G&G teammate of Al Keselowski going to be pulling up behind him just in time as Heitman still trying to get a little bit tight going through the turn there, and I think that's why him and Powell have also been getting a little bit close. But Griesbaum now going to be pushing it as they are 3 wide right now going into turn 3.
Al Keselowski all the way at the bottom. He's going to slide up a little bit, but good on him. Oh, he touches the apron. That's definitely going to cause a little bit of handling woes, but he's able to keep the momentum. Yeah, Heitman, I think this is all according to plan. I feel like this is all according to plan for Heitman. He wants to save those tires.
Well, that's not the way to do it, though. I mean, when you're out there having a battle like that, sometimes it makes the tires wear faster. Mark Paget now running along the outside. Here we go, 3 wide again. I think that's going to be the common theme here. Didn't quite get it formed up that time as Griesbaum has now got himself secured up in second place. But look at Greg Wachinski go. Now he's out to over a second lead there. Biggest lead he's had thus far this evening.
Yeah, we're only 7 laps into this race, and he's already out to that lead. That kind of is a little bit concerning, though, for me. I feel like Greg might be burning his equipment up. I mean, that's something you need to watch out for. But, this is a stage 1, so, I mean, nothing wrong with trying to test it out, see what the limits of that race car are.
Yeah, run hard, fast in the stages, man, especially stage 1, because this is the time where you get to make the adjustments if you need to. You want to see what that tire degradation is going to be like. So, yeah, good on Greg. Plus, he's in that clean air, man, and clean air don't care. It's just like that good hair. So he doesn't even want to look back. He wants to stay out there, and I think he's probably going to be trying to be committed to staying out front for as long as he can here the rest of the evening.
Yeah, it's definitely where you want to be. That's for sure. That clean air definitely very important at this racetrack. As you see, Kenny Powell starting to get caught by Mark Paget, of course, our Super Cup Series championship. Kenny Powell having a little bit of a blinking issue going on right now.
Yeah, Kenny's going to have to he's going to have to pray to the internet gods here to get himself a stable connection.
100%, as we see a lot of guys starting to get backed up here a little bit. Looking at Josh Schaffner back here in 10th place, trying to get up through the field. He's right there behind Darren Mullins.
Yeah, Matt DeCiani, man, a guy that we hadn't mentioned his name quite a bit. I feel like just been neglecting him a little, buddy. He is now running up here behind Don Avery. Avery slid all the way back to 7th place right now.
And, of course, I mean, Derek Heitman slid back even more than that. I mean, he is back here in, I do believe, 6th place and verging on losing even those positions.
Yeah, it's interesting that Heitman and Avery both started on, P1 and P2, and they both kind of fallen back in equal amount, I'd say, is now DeCiani is going to kind of get caught up in the fray, trying to figure out how he's going to get by. He's going to go high. That's going to get these guys almost 3 wide. DeCiani very high. Looks like he almost could have made contact with the wall as he gets his legs underneath him, and now he is running down the high side, going to come back in on Heitman, and he's going to be good to go, Brian.
Yeah, Matt DeCiani definitely running right around the top, right on that wall, and Kansas is known for that. I mean, this is a place where that's kind of rewarded in a lot of ways. I'm not sure how much if that burns your tires up prematurely, but we'll have to keep an eye on it for sure. But that is going to be one of the tricks that these guys are going to have in their back pockets to use that top side. As Kenny Powell has fallen back now, I do believe the 4th place. Mark Paget now moves up to 3rd and is trying to run down Andrew Griesbaum. Griesbaum, though, is starting to catch Wachinski.
They just want to use it sparingly. And I think that's what's going to happen, though, because as we are rolling now, it looks like we're about a minute and in 0.6 of a second a minute. Listen to me. Wow. 1.6 seconds off the pace now. Man, I don't know what's going on, man. I think I might have had one too many of those IPAs right there.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. That the fall off has definitely been substantial. I mean, a half a second for a lot of these drivers out here. And, we're only 13 laps in, so, I mean, what do we expect to see when we get longer than that later in this race? Of course, these stages are just child's play compared to what we're going to have to deal with later.
Yeah, and I definitely think that what you said there, even with Wachinski, it's kind of like he burned his stuff up, because you'll find out here you will run that way, but you won't run fast long. So it's going to all equal out to the guy who is able to find the median, if you will. Not the extremists. You're not gonna be able to go out here and keep the hammer down all the way around this thing.
What a great camera angle we have here from Greg Wachinski's off of his right rear, or I should say left rear. You kind of see all the way back there to Andrew Griesbaum trying to catch up. Definitely love this camera angle. As we still, I do believe, now going to have 10 laps to go here in this stage.
I tell you what, I guarantee you Greg Wachinski wishes that he had that camera angle that he was possessing a little bit ago when he had a 1.2 second lead.
Yeah, they would have looked like bugs back there, but now they're right there. You know, things appear closer in the mirror, that's for sure. Look at Kenny Powell has come back into it. I mean, we saw Paget get by him, but I think Paget maybe overcooked his tires a little bit, but the top four all right there, and now even more are starting to catch up. Al Kozlowski, Matt DeCiani. I mean, this is getting to be a fight. Oh, Griesbaum into the outside wall a little bit there.
Yeah, when you say they're all there, I mean, literally everyone has crossed in upon him. And like you said, Griesbaum hit that wall there, kind of slowed those guys up a little bit. But here comes Kenny Powell right now, going to force the issue. Paget goes low. Powell stays true to the middle. Now that's going to put Mark Paget all the way up in the second place, and he is not going to get a run on Wojcinski. So Wojcinski was able to thwart off that attack there early on, but I don't think it's going to work out for him the second time, as we are now 17 laps into this run.
And look at it. I mean, I kind of thought this might be on purpose. I mean, Heitman has just showed back up too. I mean, I think he was saving. I think that was on purpose. And also Don Avery. I mean, look at Avery go right now. I think all those guys were, they did, you know, it was a method to the madness. You know, fall back, save the equipment, and get back into it when it's time.
Yeah, you should write self-help books.
No, I think these guys should write self-help books. It's not my idea. It's these guys' idea. They're the ones making all the calls. As Heitman does get around Avery, and it's now trying to get around Andrew Griesbaum. Griesbaum is just really tight up on that wall right now and just not having the best handling. As now Mark Paget's going to go low and try to take the lead away.
And Kenny Powell's going to be right there trying to nudge his way in between Wojcinski and Paget. So now you got a three-way with Pat.
Oh,
Powell,
here we go. 3 wide.
Paget and Wojcinski.
Kenny Powell dives it in on the bottom, slides up, and Paget, I think, lifted, probably not wanting to have any part of that.
Yeah, I think he just decided to take himself out of the situation before he got taken out of the race. Griesbaum really struggling, though, like you said. He was running up there high on the wall. I think he has made kind of contact at least once or twice, though, but definitely has fallen all the way back to 6th place now.
Kenny Powell having a major blinking issue. That last lap, he was definitely flickering in and out of existence here as Derek Heitman comes up here. And Greg Wojcinski's still able to hold on to this lead. Now he's up on the top side.
And you know what? You got to wonder if maybe that helped Mark Paget make his decision about kind of backing out of there, because the one thing you don't want to do is go 3 wide with a blinker.
100% as they do go 3 wide here as Derek Heitman tries to go through the middle. I have not seen the middle lane working so far. It seems like it's either top or bottom, but I mean, Heitman getting a good run here out of 2 as we have 5 laps to go, soon to be 4, as Kenny Powell dives it in low. But Greg Wojcinski somehow holding on.
You can definitely say that Heitman kind of backed off, saved this equipment. Now he's getting ready to get the run he needs. Looks like this time he's going to take it around the high side of Wojcinski. Wojcinski's going to pitch him, but I don't think it's going to be enough. If he can get the drive off that he needs, I think we might have ourselves a new leader, and he is getting the drive off of the turn. He is going to walk by Wojcinski. Wojcinski not going to be able to set up for a crossover as Heitman is gone.
Yeah, and I mean, Wojcinski even tried to come up there in front of the 24 and try to take his line away, but Kenny Powell was having none of it, went down to the bottom line, and now has gotten clear of Wojcinski. Now, one thing about it, we saw Wojcinski was doing great when he had the clean air, but now he's going to be in the dirty air. This is something to keep in mind, that this is going to affect how that car handles now, especially with the tires being as worn as they probably are.
Dirty air, dirty air. I think the 2 things we're going to hear about, dirty air and tire wear, those are going to be the things that the drivers probably are going to be thinking about the most here as look at Derek Heitman go. Now, he did fall back. He was all the way back with Don Avery. They were back in, I believe, 6th and 7th. Now,
problem. Kozlowski to the grass. Don Avery into the outside wall.
That's going to bring out the caution. But
that is going to end the stage here. Taking a look back at this accident, you see Don Avery all the way down on the apron here, comes back up onto the racetrack. And definitely loses some momentum here. Should see the accident happen here shortly. I think I went a little bit too far back, but I think we're coming up on it right now. See how Kozlowski was getting really close to the back end of Don Avery. This is all while, yep, look at that. Avery into the outside wall, comes down, and, huge hit there for Matt DeCiani. Oh, wow, Wayne Grossi barely sliding through that. Let's take a different angle on this.
Yeah, both Matt DeCiani and Wes Dobbs are be the recipients of that dreaded meatball flag.
You see Avery just gets tight right up into the outside wall, right in front of the 88. I think the 88 might be a little less worse for wear. He got kicked down into the grass. As long as he didn't hit the wall, I think he might be okay. But like you said, Wes Dobbs and DeCiani probably. Did DeCiani get a meatball also? He hit pretty hard.
Absolutely, yeah. Matt DeCiani's probably done for a while, along with Wes Dobbs. These two guys recipients of the meatball flag. But that, just like that stage is going to be in the books. With that, let's take a step away, get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back and we'll see who our gracious host would like to interview.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgot.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
All righty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have time to talk with who we were going to. I was going to try to see if we couldn't get a word with Don Avery. Unfortunate there, but we are getting ready to get this thing back underway. Start stage number 2. Of course, Derek Heitman was your stage 1 winner as the green flag is getting ready to come back out.
Yeah, Avery well behind the 8 ball as he is just now coming off of pit road. And the green flag is out, so he is possibly going to be fighting his demons and trying to stay on the lead lap. Derek Heitman, though, getting a strong run here. Heitman being our stage 1 winner, is going to be interesting to see if he actually takes the same strategy this time or if he's actually going to go ahead and run out front as he's got Powell closing in on the back door, bringing Wachinski with him.
So I almost saw, I think, a little bit of contact there between Derek Jacobs and another driver back there, but luckily that did not turn into anything too bad. But, yeah, Wachinski definitely having a very strong run here tonight as he is trying to get by his teammate Kenny Powell. Looks like he's going to slide up and go right up to the back bumper of Heitman. Of course, Heitman in that last stage fell back quite a ways and then drove his way back up. I'm curious if we'll see the same thing again here.
Yeah, did I just say that?
You may very well have. But definitely Al Kozlowski, after that incident, still out there trucking. Glad to see that. At least he wasn't one of the main, one of the casualties. You hate it for DeCiani, though. Because, he's in a tight points battle right now with Mark Pageant. And, that's just got to be a little bit of a sucker punch there for DeCiani.
I don't know if it was a sucker punch, but, it was an unfortunate set of circumstances, to say the least. But at least Avery and Kozlowski still actually able to run on. Man, a big jam up right there in the middle of the field, or the front of the pack, rather. As Wachinski's high now with Powell behind him, Keselowski's going to be down low trying to get a run on to come up to the leader.
Yeah, of course, Wachinski has Kenny Powell there right behind him, giving him some pushes. Side by side, though, Mark Pageant and Andrew Griesbaum. As Griesbaum has not learned his lesson. He's back up to the top.
Yeah, Heitman probably not as comfortable as he would like to be. I'm sure he would love to have just a little bit more cushion there between him and the rest of the pack, but they are right there all over him right now. So like we both said, be interesting to see just how long it takes him to kind of remove himself just a little bit there until a little bit later on in the run. And I think that's exactly what he's doing, is he's going to let Wachinski go by high. Look at Griesbaum now, doing something totally different now, running down on the low side of the run.
Yeah, he's trying to change it. Oh, gets really close there to the left rear. Love this camera angle. Definitely can hear those engines firing all cylinders around this place, as Al Keselowski, I do believe, has taken the lead. So you could definitely tell that there was hardly any damage there from that incident for him. So he's got to be feeling very, very lucky, because it could have been so much worse there for him. As looks like Derek Heitman has fallen back now to 5th place. Oh, Kenny Powell getting really loose there.
Yeah, I think Heitman's just he's gonna find exactly where he can run comfortably without exerting too much energy, and that's where he's gonna hang out.
I mean, it worked before. Why not? Why won't it work again, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wanting to know, like, for all of these guys that are out there running hard, I was wondering what the tire wear was like, actually.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. I'd love to know what, like Greg Wachinski's tires were after that last stint there.
Man, it's been an awesome race so far, and it is just literally flying by, as we are 15 laps here at the line before stage 2 is actually in the books. Al Keselowski, though, getting out front and leading him some laps here.
Yeah, good on him. Definitely going to be trying to get as many points as he can here. As Derek Heitman has starting to check up a bunch of these guys here. You see Mark Pageant, John Mullins or Darren Mullins right there side by side right behind him. A little bit of a blinking issue going on for Wayne Grossi right now.
Ooh, Heitman and Pageant got real close there. Probably a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. But look at Josh Schaffner. Somebody we don't get to talk about a whole lot recently is trying to fight his way up through this field. He's another one that, he's a dangerous man when he's saving some tires. I'll tell you that.
And this is definitely the track where you might actually see a Schaffner slip into and find himself on the podium here before this thing's over.
100%. But Al Keselowski now with a half a second lead as Andrew Griesbaum battles with Greg Wachinski. Both of them kind of running up on the top side. Here comes Kenny Powell on the bottom. Mark Pageant trying to work his way up through as he has entered the top 5. Oh, Wachinski into the outside wall. That's not going to be good. Probably won't hurt that chassis too much, but still, you don't want to do that too many times, that's for sure. So definitely a little bit of contact there with the wall. Probably some of that DuPont paint all over the side of that wall now. As Pageant goes to the inside of Kenny Powell, now side by side for 3rd place. Looks like Pageant almost gets clear, just not able to get there, trying to take the shortest distance around the racetrack. But at Kansas, a lot of times, the shortest distance is not the fastest.
Yeah, looks like he is going to clear Powell right about now. And so that's going to put him up in 3rd place, which has got to make him feel pretty good about himself. But Heitman slided on back to the back. We're going to be watching him, because about the time that he gets ready to start his move to the front, that's when you know it's going to be go time. And I'm imagining that's going to be about 10 laps to go here. So within the next 2 laps, I think we'll see Heitman start to claw his way back up to the front.
Yeah, just flips that switch and just starts moving forward.
I mean, that's pretty impressive because this is not an easy track to pass at. I mean, think about it like this. If it were, these guys will be gaining position right now. But you're watching these drivers are having to set up some of these passes for like it's taking them 8 turns in order to complete it.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And a lot of times, you make a pass early in the run. That guy that you just passed, he's going to be right back on you here in just a little bit. I mean, it's like that it's a temporary, thing. Like a temporary satisfaction. I'd say, yeah, I got that position off of him, but he's going to get back to you whenever you've already burnt your equipment up. So I mean, you gotta think long term in the ISCA. You have to in racing in general.
It looks like Kyle Powell is blinking in and out profusely.
Clayton Powell out here.
I ain't bitching, but you're glitching.
Yeah, he is definitely blinking quite substantially as he tries to go underneath Andrew Griesbaum. This is probably like making the alarms bells ring there for that 0-2. I mean, you saw he was up there fighting for that position himself, but then Kenny Powell kind of entered the fray and has just been blinking all over the place. Whoever is watching Netflix there needs to stop. Look at that, Derek Heitman into the outside wall out of 4. Not a huge hit, but still a hit nonetheless.
A hit's a hit.
You see all the smoke that Kenny Powell is throwing up right now because of that blinking issue. That could be a huge distraction from some of these other drivers. I mean, you think that an accident's happening and one's not. It could cause an accident.
Well, it made the broadcast. I mean, you're talking about it. The 72 coming down pit road, that's Wes Dobbs. I think he had actually got his car fixed, got his damage repaired. I might be serving a black flag.
I do believe this time by it'll be 7 laps to go here in this stage as Heitman is pushing the 78. Man, and the 78 goes up into the outside wall. That's what you got to do. I mean, I like this. I like this, these kind of tactics here. Of course, a lot of people might call them dirty, but I mean, pushing him into the corner faster than he wants to go. I mean, you're not wrecking him. You just kind of making him a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the story of the Blinky Powell.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess Blinken got him up to the lead because he is now up in the lead. Al Kozlowski probably was just like, I don't want any part of this. I don't know where he's at,
I mean, that is kind of an issue that you have to take into consideration.
I mean, Powell is blinking all over the place right now, and it's definitely a scary situation to where when you have somebody that you really do not know where they are, and you have another driver just right behind you that is racing you and trying to pass you, you don't know what your options are. Every move you make when you got a guy blinking around you is a gamble in a way, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Because who's to say he doesn't pop into existence and he's inside your car? It's not sounding healthy, that's for sure. It looks like we have 5 laps to go here.
Heitman made it all the way back up to 4th.
That he did. He definitely has flipped the switch now. Does he have enough time, though? Looking at his lap times last time by, I think he might, yeah. Last time by, he was, I do believe, over a 10th, almost 2 tenths faster than the drivers that are in front of him, as we're going to have now 3 to go when we cross the start-finish line here. So I think he's got just enough time. It just depends on how hard these other guys race him.
Well, and it's also going to depend on how close they want to get to Powell. With Kozlowski going way high, he's going to let Heitman go. Heitman now driving himself all the way up to P2. He has got Powell now in his laser X-ray vision as he is reeling him in like a big fish.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is reeling him right on in. He is Definitely got that reel, and he is just, man, you're making me want to go fish. Oh, Heitman into the outside wall a bit again. He's got a lot of pace, but that's something that you do not want to keep happening. And I think that a lot of what that is coming from is the clean air versus dirty air, as I do believe Kenny Powell into the outside wall a little bit there in 1 and 2 here. Here comes Heitman, going to be challenging for the lead on the bottom as Kenny Powell disappears again. Now you see me, now you don't. The Magic Man. Oh, Heitman goes way up the track. That was almost a bad situation there, as I do believe the white flag for the stage is waving.
Yeah, now Heitman's going to be getting around Powell.
Of course, Mark Pageant now going to be probably also trying to get by Kenny Powell. Of course, Pageant is our points leader in the Cup Series. So here comes Kenny Powell. He's going to try to go back to the bottom here and see if he can't make a run. I don't think it's going to work, though, as they're going to cross the start-finish line. Yellow should be coming out any time now. Do we have to wait for the 10th place car to cross the line, which is Derek Jacobs. He's 12 seconds back from the leaders, so it might be a minute or a few seconds extra. See, here comes Derek Jacobs. I do believe just has crossed the line, and there is the caution for stage number 2. Of course, that one went caution-free. Glad to see that. Derek Heitman, though, sweeping the stages. Definitely a great job to him. Kenny Powell in 2nd place. Mark Pageant 3rd. Al Kozlowski 4th. Greg Wachinski in 5th. 6th place, Josh Schaffner. 7th place, Andrew Griesbaum. 8th place, Wayne Grossi. 9th place, Darren Mullins. And rounding out our top 10 is Derek Jacobs. Definitely a great job here to Derek Heitman. He's got, I think he's got the best car. That's what it seems like right now. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Because, I mean, you know everybody's going to have a different strategy in this final stage. I mean, it's not going to be, you see all these guys driving it real hard in the stages. They're not exactly going to be driving like that in this final stage, I don't believe. But let's go ahead and take a brief step away. We'll be right back, and we'll hopefully we can talk to somebody.
At Trader Joe's, we do things a little differently, and our customers hold us to a very high standard. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. We work hard to live up to the high standard you've come to expect of us. We travel the world to bring you unique, exciting, exotic products, as well as the basics like milk, eggs, and butter, all at the very best prices every day. We also believe that a satisfying shopping experience is about more than just good products. We want you to enjoy shopping at Trader Joe's. The upbeat crew members, the samples of wonderful food served up by our great demo crew, so you'll come back often and bring your family and friends too. And how's this for unique? We're so confident that you'll be happy with the products you find at Trader Joe's, we even have a distinctive guarantee. We've tried it and we liked it, but if you don't, just bring it back for a full refund. Thanks for listening.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe we're going to grab up Derek Heitman. We got him up here in the booth, won Stage 1 and Stage 2. Seems like you have gotten a great long-run car there, Derek, but the short run seems to be lacking, or is that on purpose?
Oh, it's definitely on purpose. Just find the pace, run the pace, maintain the pace, and see where you end up at the end of the race.
Hey, man, truer words have never been spoken. Well, it seems like you got the car to beat here. What's the strategy going into this final stage? You're going to try to short pit it, long pit it? What's the gamble here?
I played the 5th. Just on stream, I know there's ears listening, so I'm going to plead the 5th on that one, but you guys will see what happens.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. Well, definitely been putting together. No, I don't blame you. I was trying to coax one out of you there, but definitely a fast race car. How does it feel? I know a lot of the tracks we go to, it's like your first time going there, but this is one, it's not your first time. Do you feel like you're better this time around?
This is my second time. I definitely feel better this time around. The first time around, I was so bad, and it's just because I coached myself to run in the high line the entire time, which is what I did on NASCAR Heat back in the day. It was a one-lane track only, high line only, and this track you kind of got to, on this sim, you got to teach yourself save the tires a little bit. So That's what I'm doing. You know, if someone tries past me, go ahead and take it. I'll see you in 10 laps.
Yeah, that seems to be exactly what's kind of been happening for sure. We did see you get the wall a couple times in that last stint, though. What was that? Is it just dirty air, you think?
Yeah, it's dirty air, getting a little tight on exit, just trying to push it a little too hard. But, I mean, these cars are tough, believe it or not. I mean, I got the wall pretty good both times, but I just feel like it's my right rear corner hits that safety barrier where it pops out on the exit and just kind of hooks my right front into the wall, but no damage, no damage. Crew chief's pretty happy with me for it, so we'll keep her running.
All right, man. Well, I know the pace car lights are going out here. We'll let you get back to it. Can we get a quick shout out from you before we let you get back to it?
You know, always shout out EPI. A quick shout out to Michael Conti. This is our 4th version of a Kansas setup this week, just because we started out this week a little off. He just, you know, put his head down, kept at it, made the set better. So raceepi.com, get yourself right.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you, and good luck to you in the rest of the race there, Derek.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, that was Derek Heitman, your Stage 1 and 2 winner. Looks like we're getting ready to get the call to go back to green here. Pace car lights are out. We're on the backstretch.
No, we're not. We're in the booth.
That's true. Gotta love the confidence, though. You can tell Derek knows exactly what he's doing right now. I don't know how long, Schaffner, he's one I'm looking at. That 50 has been moving up through the field all race long. Let's see what happens here as the pace car dips down pit road as we're going to enter the Geico restart zone. And the green flag will be back out in the air here for the final stage.
So Heitman's going to take off leading the field here. Is he, like you said earlier, he has won the first 2 stages. Now I'm wondering just how long it's actually going to take him to settle back here, because you don't want to be out there up front. You don't want to be the carrot, if you will.
Yeah, and I think he's going to do exactly what he needs to do. He's probably going to even lose some spots. I think he's just kind of going through the motions on leading, like he even said it. Just kind of fall back. Let these guys pass me. That's fine. I'll get back to them. I mean, and he's done exactly that every time. I mean, so I definitely have faith he could do it again. But I think the one thing that's going to be a little bit different here is the drivers around him. We saw him and Paget getting really close to, hurting each other there. Could something like that happen again, but it not be so good,
Yeah, but the longer these guys run, though, the more comfortable. The more comfortable they're going to become. They've been, Wojcinski into the wall hard. Griesbaum checked up low. Mullins also into the wall. That wasn't good right there. That could have been disastrous, but looks like we were just able to narrowly avoid a complete disaster. Green flag racing continues. Al Koslowski now pinching a Mullins car up top.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Wojcinski. Been running good all night long. Wayne Grossi, though, making his first appearance, I do believe, up into the top 5. Now side by side with Mark Paget. You see Don Avery right there behind them. Yeah, interesting the different choices here between guys going down on the dogleg and not. Like Al Koslowski had every opportunity. He could have went down there in the dogleg, but decided not to. So that makes me think that some guys are a little torn on that, Oh, Don Avery getting loose. He's down on the apron.
What goes down must come back up, and I think that's the reason why a lot of guys don't want to go down on that dog leg. I mean, you get into the rhythm and you kind of stay where the line is fine.
Oh, Mark Paget kissing the wall there. I'll tell you what, that wall's getting a lot of love tonight, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Paget and Grossi, Wayne Grossi all the way up here to P3 here for the first time tonight. And look who's in front of him is that 5-0 car, Josh Schaffner. The corn man returneth.
Yeah, instead of the melon man, we got the corn man out here as he's side by side with that yellow Pennzoil 7. Grossi, though, making moves right now. Looks like he's going to take away second place away from Josh Schaffner. Of course, Heitman has held on to the lead a lot longer than I expected him to.
Yeah, and you got to think about what's going on with Schaffner, because Schaffner's not usually the kid that's going to run up front. He's the kid that's going to kind of lay in the back and conserve and save. So, not sure what's really going on right now. Maybe everybody's just really chilling.
Look at the recovery from Greg Wychinski. He is back up here and in contention once again. Of course, Kenny Powell, we neglected to mention this. He is actually 2 laps down. I do believe had a throughput error or something like that. Looks like he's got his a lot more solid now, so he's going to be hoping and praying for a caution to get back on the lead lap.
That exactly is what happened. Powell did actually get kicked out due to throughput error. Packet loss, they call it.
Definitely been a solid race so far, though. Definitely been enjoying it. I mean, even though the Super Cup Series is over, doesn't mean the action stops. That's for dang sure.
Well, no, I think, how long before this we crown another champion?
I do believe after this one we have 3 more races left in the Cup Series standings, or series.
And then we'll go into the playoffs.
Well, I do believe that's just 3 more races, I think. Because, of course, the Cup Series is not really in playoffs. They don't really have playoffs in a lot of ways. The Super Cup, of course, does, but with this series, you could actually just point your way into championships. And I think Pageant, that's probably exactly what he's looking to do, is Wayne Grossi all over the rear end of Derek Heitman right now. Side by side, though, Kenny Powell and Josh Schaffner. Al Kozlowski looking for any gap he can take. Almost takes him 3 wide.
Yeah, this is a very scary situation here. I'm just waiting for it to shake itself out.
I mean, these guys are flying around this racetrack, too. I mean, 180-plus mile an hour. And, things happen quick at that kind of speed, Big Al. I mean, if something goes wrong, it's so hard to react to that.
Yeah, now Grossi is the new blinker. He's the blinky kid in school.
Somebody's got to be the blinker. As Kenny Powell's going to try to fight back to take his lap back the hard way. Look at him go. I love this. I mean, if a caution comes out, he would, I do believe, be the lucky dog. So he would be back on the lead lap if a caution came out right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the only lucky dog for a while.
And you know that Wes Dobbs is looking for a caution, too, because he is now 18 laps down. But glad that he hasn't given up. And glad to see, I know he's been in the ISCA before, but glad to see him back. I definitely, I've known Wes for a long time, and definitely a good guy.
Interesting.
Heck of a builder, too. He usually is the one that tinkers on his own cars.
Yeah, it's just you talk a lot differently about him than he does you.
Oh, yeah? Has he said something bad about me?
I mean, never mind. I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Derek Heitman continuing to lead this thing, not back it off like everybody would have probably projected that he would. But look at how much of a difference these guys are running on the pace. And they are sandbagging it, Brian. There's no way. As you see the distance that Powell has actually pulled out, and we are now halfway through this event. And we're stacked up like before, what is it? I don't know what interstate runs through Atlanta.
Yeah. I'd say they're stacked up in here like sardines, that's for sure, because they're all up on top of each other here. I mean, Al Kozlowski, I think that he could get by Derek Heitman if he wanted to right now, but I think that a lot of these guys are sitting here looking at this, and they're like, Heitman last time in these stages, he was sandbagging, exactly what you were saying. Fell back to the back. Oh, contact.
Hits him hard and then hits him again.
It's getting saucy.
I don't think we're done hitting each other yet.
It's getting pretty saucy.
We're definitely in the midst of an abusive relationship here.
Yeah, somebody needs to call somebody. Somebody needs to put a restraining order out or something like that. They were beating and banging. The gloves are coming off, and it's pretty early for the gloves to be coming off. I mean, we just got past the halfway point.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to be getting all physical up in here like that.
I mean,
Kozlowski back for round 2.
You could charge that man with assault. I don't think we're done. I really don't think we're done with contact right now.
And to add even more strategery into this situation, you got Grassi, the blinker.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Kenny Powell's looking at all this, and he's hoping it goes sideways because they're starting to catch up as Josh Schaffner does battle here with Wayne Grassi. Looks like Al Kozlowski's going to fall back here, I do believe, to the 5th place position. Now side by side with his teammate Greg Wyszynski getting really close. I think Al Kozlowski, his car is not handling as well as it was.
Well, I hope that's not the case because we still got so long way to go. This is not time yet to pit.
Oh, no, not by a long shot. 46 laps is the fuel window, and we still have another 20 laps to get there. See Wayne Grassi pinching down Josh Schaffner a bit here, but Schaffner, he's going to have the run. He's going to slide up. Oh, a loose condition there for Dobbs. He goes down onto the apron. Able to save it, though. So here comes Wayne Grassi. Big battle between these two.
And I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you want to battle at this point in the race, or are you just going to like back off and let them go? I mean,
I'm backing off, yeah. I mean, because they've been getting really sporty, and I don't want no parts of that. If something goes wrong, you don't get a fast repair in this series. You know, whatever if you get big damage, you're stuck with that big damage.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, that Heitman has stayed out front all this time. I guess he understands what happens to people when they fall back into the pack because that's a quick way to get wrecked, to be honest with you.
Especially with the way these guys are driving right now. They're after blood as we see Kenny Powell getting caught once again. Wayne Grassi still having a big blinking issue. I mean, I think Kenny just gave him the crown of the blinker because he has been blinking a ton right now. Would not be surprised to see him get a throughput error. Definitely don't wish it on him for sure, but I don't think he stayed solid for a single lap. Oh, contact! This is going to be bad. Josh Schaffner saves it. Oh, my goodness. But then here goes Mark Pageant into the outside wall hard.
Hard into the outside wall. He is still wrecking. Schaffner still not got his legs back underneath him. Looks like he's been punched in the jaw by Mike Tyson. Mark Pageant suffering from a meatball flag. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back around, but that's going to ultimately end his night.
Take a look back at this whole accident once again here. You see I think it was a little bit of netcode that kind of sent the 50 sideways.
Well, he was running right there beside. Oh, and Don Avery even caught up in that. As if Avery needs any more bad luck to happen to him tonight. Paget just now making it back around the pit road. So he was actually make it back around pit road without taking a tow. So that's pretty amazing.
Kenny Powell has gotten put back down 2 laps here as he is racing Derek Heitman very, very hard. He could have used that caution. Unfortunately, it would have came to the detriment of Josh Schaffner. Pageant out of the race car, like you just mentioned. He has got substantial damage. That leaves only 9 drivers on the lead lap. Josh Schaffner is still out there, but I would assume his damage is pretty bad itself.
Yeah, well, Schaffner's definitely fallen way back there to the back of the field, but he is still under his own power and turning laps. His lap time on the last one was not completely off the mark, so he is still actually turning good, consistent lap times. He finds himself up the race pace.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad day for Josh Schaffner. Going to be a bad day for Mark Pageant, but it's going to be a good day for the guys that didn't get involved in that. I mean, you look at Derek Jacobs, barely was able to squeeze by that whole incident. That's going to be some good points for him. Looks like Pageant, I think he's back on the track, so it must not have been too much of a fix, which is so shocking to how hard he hit that wall. I mean, he hit that wall so hard.
Pageant's still not racing. I mean, he is still behind the wall.
Oh, so he just, I guess he didn't make it down pit road yet because he is still driving.
Yeah, he's still trying to get down pit road. That's a broken toe link.
Yeah, definitely. That's usually minimum 8 minutes required. I mean, that's multiple laps here.
Yes, I admit Grassy has got a blinking problem.
It wouldn't be an ISCA broadcast if we didn't have some Big Al karaoke.
I mean, I had to throw it in there, but he absolutely does have a blinking problem. Don't let him lie to you, folks.
Wow, I mean, I think Kenny Powell now having his blink coming back here.
Oh, man, I was hoping that he was going to stay clean.
Definitely been a great race here so far. Definitely been a lot of drama, though. I'll tell you that, as Derek Heitman is now up in the lead, has almost a second now on Wayne Grossi.
Oh, and Grace Bomb and Wachowski get into each other. I mean, I'm just sitting here and I'm just saying to myself, guys, we got 1.53 miles of track. Why do y'all got to run into each other? Come on, spread it out.
I almost feel like somebody might have spiked their punch here tonight. Something's definitely got these guys all on edge, you know?
Yeah, that was almost catastrophic. I mean, it had the makings of something that you just didn't even want to put in the oven. I mean, it was going to unfold itself right there for everybody to see, and you were just going to scratch your head even more about it. Grease Bomb, though, he's been tagging the wall pretty good there. I mean, I'm just glad he's not hitting the bottle as much as he's been hitting the wall.
Kenny Powell taking a green flag pit stop here. I'll tell you, Kenny has not had the best week here at Kansas so far. I know that he feels like he's had a really good race car. We're talking to him a little bit, but every race he's been in, he's had something unfortunate happen. You got to feel pretty bad there for him, but I mean, at least he can take some solace to see that, you know, his teammate here, the Speedway Angels 88, is sitting up in second right now. But of course, we will have to have green flag pit stops at some point. I mean, considering the cautions have not came, you know, shocking that Pageant and Josh Schaffner deal didn't cause a caution.
I'm shocked that Powell came down pit road when he did. This is not a scheduled stop. Something else has got to be going on because, I mean, we're not even in the window yet. We got 51 laps to go. The fuel window is going to be somewhere around 46. So that tells me that we will start to see green flag pit stops sometime within the next 5 to 7 laps.
Yeah, of course, we went back green, I'd say, on lap 55. So that would make me think that I'm going to go, about 90, 95, I'd say, is when most of these drivers are probably going to come down pit road. But, yeah, I think the window is definitely starting to open right now. Of course, you want to try to split it in half, but some guys might try to do something different. I mean, look at Derek Hyman. He's so good on the long run. He could probably pit in 5 laps and still be able to, you know, pull away from these guys because, I mean, his long run car has been just fantastic. But I don't know, though. I mean, looking at last lap, Al Kozlowski about a half a tenth faster. So could we see Derek Heitman falling victim to that temptation? Not the chasing on the carrot on the stick, but falling victim to that temptation to try to pull away. I mean, that's never a good idea.
I don't think so. I think Heitman came here with a plan. I think he's just going to run his own race, and he understands that he gets nothing, absolutely nothing, if he doesn't stick to that plan. If you stick to the plan, you come out, you win the race, and you're a hero. You deviate from the plan, you're the villain. Your team doesn't eat. Nobody likes you.
Definitely a blunt way to put it, that's for sure. As we're now 34 laps into this stint for most of these drivers. So this is that unknown territory. I mean, these guys have not been this far on these runs, so they don't really know what to expect. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Heitman has turned it back up a little bit, has pulled back out to a little over a second on Al Kozlowski. I can't wait to see what green flag pit stops look like because we know for a fact that if you don't pull that off, it could be catastrophic. I mean, all it takes is even sliding to the box. We saw a championship on Thursday last week be just settled based on stuff like that, you know, missing your box and having to slide through and hit it reverse.
I'm telling you, that colored fella says you drive for show, but you pit for dough.
Yeah, that's not the political correct term.
As Derek Heitman continues to lead us here, man, it's going to be interesting when we do get into green flag pit stops because we are now officially in that pit window. What that means is, should the caution come out right now, we'd actually have enough gas to make it to the end of this thing. So some drivers that are fighting ill handling cars will definitely be trying to take advantage of this. But now the flip side of that is, if you are facing an ill handling car right now with only 37 laps, well, there's still 45 laps to go in the race. So everybody's going to be trying to encourage these guys to stay out long enough to actually make this more even, Brian, like you said.
Don Avery, though, I mean, we know we've seen him in quite a number of incidents here tonight. Looks like he has gotten that car handling back to where it should be, as he is now taking over, I do believe, third place from Andrew Griesbaum, as Griesbaum has been steadily running up on the top, but I just don't, that's not sustainable, it doesn't appear, as Wayne Grossi now goes side by side here.
Well, Grossi was up front. Now Grossi coming back. So Griesbaum is still about the same place that he's been. So I don't think his strategy is the one that's not working. I think what you're seeing is, Wayne Grossi slowly finding his way, going the wrong way in the order. Now, he ran it pretty hard. That's why I do believe he was up there in contention for the lead. But if you don't have a car capable, if you don't have a top three car and you're in the top three, then one or two things is happening, right? Let's just be honest. John Mullins now coming down pit road. He is going to be the first one of our drivers to take advantage of the opportunity to get himself 4 fresh tires and some Sunoco racing fuel.
You can see him on your screen going down pit road right now. So that's a big call there from Darren Mullins. That's going to put, I do believe, Josh Schaffner back up into 8th place.
Well, and Mullins had I think he had been on a little bit of a skirmish or two. So, yeah, not surprised. And I think you're going to see more cars start to come down pit road as well.
Yeah, especially, I think, Al Kozlowski. I mean, last time by, 32.9 from him, and our leader, Derek Heitman, 32.5. That is 4/10. That is huge. And I think Don Avery is running about the same laps, maybe a tenth slower than Derek Heitman right now. So I think that, the calls, that pit road is calling Al Kozlowski's name right now.
Yeah, Griesbaum down pit road right now in the 78 Ford Mustang.
That is true. Griesbaum is going to come down pit road, and definitely a good call here, I think, for this team. Hopefully get out some clean air. He's able to save the tire a little bit better, because I think the dirty air is what lends to a lot of these guys having the tire wear that they do. I mean, of course, tire wear, even if you're in front, is going to be substantial, but it's a little worse when you're in that dirty air.
Well, now we're right there at that point where you got more laps on your tires than we got to go in the race. So this is the time to come in, and we're seeing the 72 do just that. Wes Dobbs rolling down pit road. I think at this point you'll see the leader coming in at any time.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Looks like he's going to stay out one more time.
Avery's down pit road.
A lot of tire smoke coming from Avery here, trying to get it woed up for that pit speed.
Josh
Schaffner, yep. I think Avery might have just lost a lot of time coming on the pit road. Because, I mean, you see Schaffner was way back. Schaffner shouldn't even be able to really see Avery right now, so I feel like he lost some time there. We'll have to keep an eye. Looks like Heitman's still going to stay out another lap here.
Yeah, as does Kozlowski, Grossi, and Wachinski.
Yeah, I think any moment now we're going to see this 88 Speedway Angels machine coming down pit road.
And Derek Jacobs. So currently, right now, we got 5 drivers that have not yet pit.
Well, I mean, and these guys are, you look at Al Kozlowski, 33.1. I mean, That is a lot of fall off right there compared to everybody else around him. Of course, Jacobs is hitting a 33.3.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Now Powell's actually rejoining us here in the race. Wachinski's down on pit road. I think what I'm getting ready to say is that maybe Keselowski knows that his car is going to be fast for 25. So with that in mind, you stay out as long as you can. So that way you can go faster for a shorter period of time.
And there goes Al Keselowski and Wayne Grossi both coming down pit road at the same time.
Yeah, 36 left to go.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think that's good for what their cars were doing. I don't think anybody's going to have anything for Derek Heitman here tonight. I think that he has just shown the best speed over the long run. Of course, his short run speed has definitely left something to be desired. Here he comes down pit road now.
Yeah. No, but I think he was even kind of just toying with you as well. I mean, I think that when they unloaded that thing off the trailer here this weekend, we saw that car has been nothing but fast. So, I mean, here he is, and all he's doing is what he needs to do,
Oh, wow. 27 of Derek Jacobs bringing it down pit road, I do believe, almost had an unsafe pit entry there. I'm wondering, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, and Big Al, if you can keep an eye on also.
Yeah, he's good. He's clean.
That was close because he even tagged the cone there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, he's not being shown a black flag.
Here comes Derek Heitman off of pit road right now. Let's see. Does anybody take this lead away from him? Here comes Don Avery around the high side, and I think Avery is going to take the lead. Of course, Avery was showing some significant pace there before his pit stop, so I thought he lost time on pit road, but I guess I was wrong. I mean, he definitely seemed like he had a really good stop, spent 14.1 seconds in the box.
And he also did kind of get caught up in a little bit of melee there a couple of times so far in this race. So good on Don Avery to battle back from all that adversity and get himself up here to lead this thing, Awesome. I know that team definitely needs a good opportunity to get some biscuits on the plate. I mean, everybody needs to eat, and he definitely would love to have at least a podium finish here tonight if he could hold it off. He's got the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum that's going to be bringing up his 6. And Griesbaum's been all over the place tonight too, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, Brian, he's been up front. I mean, and every time he kind of got up there, though, he kind of got maybe a little bit too close to the wall, I guess you say, but he's definitely got a fast car.
Yeah, definitely, very much so. Got a fast race car. I mean, 100%. I mean, he was fast last time we were here. But I do believe I just got a little bit of a bird in my ear saying that Kenny Powell's willing to talk if we want to talk to him. What do you think, Big Al?
No, we don't need to talk to him.
All righty, we got Kenny Powell joining us up here in the booth. Kenny, I know you've been wanting to talk. What's been going on, man?
Well, things just didn't want to go my way tonight. So I decided to step out of the car and come talk to you boys in the booth. But then noticed a couple people that were behind me got back in their cars to, gain some positions maybe. So I jumped back in my car as well. But anyhow, bad network connection. And then when I came back in, I was 2 laps down, and they gave me new tires on the pit stop, but they didn't give me any fuel. So, even on that pit stop, I missed pit road coming in. But even if I hadn't missed it, I was pitting way too early, and I would have had to stop again. So. Just a bad night for the Powell shop and the G&G racing.
So
yeah,
Kenny,
definitely seemed. Go ahead.
So Kenny, what do you attribute all of these bad decisions to? I mean, is this something that was just a fluke? Is somebody missing? I mean, what happened to make you guys just have this domino of effect of failure?
It was just, I mean, I was blinking and my network dropped. That cascaded it all.
You seemed real fast. I mean, you were up there challenging, and you know, and I know the desperation was taken over there when you were a lap down or 2 laps down. I mean, it has to be somewhat of a disappointment that a caution didn't come out, because like the thing is, I don't know if you have seen it, but there was quite a bit of an accident. I do believe with Josh Schaffner and Mark Pageant that should have probably brought a caution out, and I think if it had came out, you might have got your lap back and got the lucky dog and been back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I definitely I was aware of that, and you know, again, just something else that could have gone my way and didn't tonight. So, it is what it is, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I've got a super fast rocket ship this week. Very happy with it, and wish I could have been racing up there for the win or at least podium.
Sorry about that. Looks like Mark Paget got a little sideways. Had a little contact with Wayne Grossi. Sorry, Kenny. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I just wish I could have raced up there. I think I would have had a podium tonight, but cards just didn't fall my way.
Yeah, definitely seemed like that for sure. But you got to take some solace. You got Al Kozlowski still out there, hopefully going for a podium here, as he is right there behind Derek Heitman. And Kozlowski's definitely been showing some pace, and, you know, definitely got to feel somewhat good about that, but even though you probably wish it was you.
Definitely. But, yeah, we got the G&G shop's got good set this week. So hope Al pulls it out. He might get a podium there, and that'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. As we're watching Andrew Griesbaum once again getting into the outside wall, you see Wayne Grossi going to be coming up here and trying to take that spot away. Of course, Griesbaum has been running that top line all night long, and, you know, I love that top line, but I don't know. I've said it time and time again. I don't just know what it does to those tires. Kenny, can you tell us a little bit maybe about that, what the tires feel like when you run that top side for too long?
I think it's setup dependent. You can set your car up to run the top side and be good up there, or you can, you know, set the car up to run the bottom. I feel like the one I have, it runs the bottom really well and saves the tires running the bottom. And but in the towards the end of the run, I can go up top and make a really good run. If I go up to the top too soon, I get too loose in the long run. So I don't know if Andrew's having that problem, you know, after being up there too long or not.
We are starting to see a battle come to fruition here as Derek Heitman and do believe Al Kozlowski starting to battle for that second place position. Also, they're catching up quickly to Don Avery. Avery was trying to get by Derek Jacobs, and I do believe was not able to do so and has lost a bunch of time. He had almost 2 seconds on Heitman, and now only 5 tenths here. So battle for the lead is going to be underway here shortly, Big Al.
Not sure what's going on either, but Wes Dobbs is now, Mark Paget is back on pit road, which doesn't make sense because he is within 1 lap, literally, of a position with Wes Dobbs. And they're both within 5 laps or so of Kenny Powell. So, don't know if Mark Paget's calling it done or if he is just, you know, accepting defeat.
I don't know. We're verging here on 20 laps to go here. 21 next time by. Al Kozlowski, though, is putting a lot of pressure on Heitman. Of course, Heitman in the shorter run has not been as good, and I think that is why, you know, this is kind of progressing this way. But still, I mean, I think any of these top three drivers could win this race right now, and it could get a little hectic. I mean, we've already seen it get hectic here at Kansas. I don't think we've seen the last of some contact. Tell us a little bit about how the dirty air feels out there, Kenny. I know you've got a little bit of a, you know, first-hand, you know, view of it. I mean, how bad is dirty air here at Kansas?
Dirty air is definitely real here at Kansas, especially coming up off the corners, coming up off of 2 or coming up off of 4. You know, if you get somebody that's making a pass on you and, you know, kind of slides up in front of you, you're you definitely you got to lift or you're going to slide up and hit the wall. it's very apparent here.
Don Avery definitely suffering from, I think, that dirty air right now as he is falling back. Al Kozlowski's going to be trying to drive around on the inside. He's going to slide up, and he's going to take that spot away. So definitely got to be taking some solace there. Al Kozlowski's up to second here, but Derek Heitman, who has been the show stealer all night long, is now up in the lead and building that lead.
Yeah, he's right back where he started this thing at, and I think that's where that car is definitely suited to be. He's fast enough to be up front. I mean, he's shown tremendous pace, and right now everything is totally laying out in his hands. So, Kenny, my biggest question to you is, man, we go to a lot of tracks week in and week out, and I know some drivers have favorite tracks, but I guess my question isn't really as far as this track is a favorite, but how much work have you guys had to do to tweak the setup? Do you guys feel like you are at an advantage because we've been here recently, and you're not really having to start from scratch, or is it really not that big of a deal?
Most definitely. I'm using the set that I used here 10 weeks ago when we were here. So, it definitely a big advantage to have been here recently, and not much in the way of the package has changed since then. So, I was able to jump right in the car and be comfortable with it again, and hardly tweaked anything, really.
Yeah, definitely seems like you've been loving the speed of your race car here this week. Just been in some unfortunate incidents in the officials. I know me and you have actually talked a lot about that. Just been so frustrating, but looks like we're closing in on the final stages here of this race. 118 laps in, now 119 laps in. So definitely getting down to crunch time for these drivers. I mean, I know Al Kozlowski. What do you think he's thinking right now?
He's going to do whatever it takes. Just put him in the Chastain category. If it takes riding the wall,
I don't think that works here in Kansas.
I don't think it works either, but
I don't know though. We've seen some guys
Al's looking for whatever he can find. That's for sure.
So he gets inches off of the wall there. Probably taking a little bit of that Speedway's Angels and putting it on that wall a little bit there. But definitely been a solid performance here for Kozlowski. He has been putting together a great race, and you could definitely tell that he wants to be the best out here, has been learning and growing. And I know a lot of people try to say that he's a very aggressive driver, and he very much is. But I see little glimpses of him learning and getting better, especially when it comes to long runs. It's so easy for a lot of these drivers. I mean, we see it time and time again to where they fall victim to that short run temptation to run up there, take those positions away, and then they just lose them later. I mean, you know what I mean?
And what's funny is Don Avery kind of got into the wall, which kind of cost Kozlowski to get into him. Well, there were two other drivers, Wes Dobbs and Mark Padgett. Those guys still aren't recovered from that incident, right? But
I think Matt DeCiani, right? I think it was DeCiani, though. Wasn't he one the other one?
Yeah, he was involved in that. But yet, Kozlowski and Avery are running 2 and 3, so I think that's awesome on those guys, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, considering what they had to deal with here. I think, like I said earlier, Kozlowski got really lucky in that whole incident. Like, he got entangled in that, but he got sent into the grass. Other guys got sent up into the wall. I'd much rather get put in the grass and do a little bit of mowing than hit the wall,
Big difference between the green and the whites on this track.
100%.
That grass moves. It's so soft and cuddly. That wall, though, it's just cold and hard.
I don't know, though. In real life, the thing about it is a lot of times, it depends on if it's AstroTurf or if it's actually grass. If it's actually grass, that could be almost like hitting a wall,
Explain.
Well, I'm just saying, your splitter digs into the grass, and it's like hitting the wall. It tears everything off the car.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
We do see a little. I'm sure Kenny's probably going to be very quiet right now as he's got the leader all over his rear end. And it looks like Derek Heitman is going to be able to get by here as we're working on 10 laps to go. I do believe only 8 drivers remaining on the lead lap for now. Don Avery, or I should say Darren Mullins, going to be the next man, I do believe, to go a lap down. He does not have long until Heitman is all over his rear end.
Yeah, I just dropped Powell back down to a G&G teammate so that way he don't have the stresses of having to talk to us as there are only 10 laps to go in this race right here. And the leader did just go by him. So Derek Heitman totally putting on a masterclass clinic here tonight. And he did say it. He knew that his car was fast. And, you know, he's kind of snarky about it even a little bit. And that's kind of cool, too, because he knows that he's fast. And a lot of these guys aren't expecting it. But I think it's going to get a little bit interesting for us, Brian, as we start to double up on some of these tracks that he's never seen before. Because, you know, now that's going to be gone by the wayside. And I think this kid's going to be a contender.
Oh, yeah. I think this guy could get championships easily. I definitely am right there with you.
He already is a contender.
I mean, the way he's been coming out here and challenging the likes of even guys like Clayton Hoffman. We see right now, though, Al Kozlowski thought he was done with Don Avery. Well, Avery has come back. Avery is back. He is trying to take away this second-place position, so don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial because the racing is still ongoing.
Now, you know Don Avery's going to do everything in his power to get up here and talk to Big Al, so you might as well just go ahead and chalk him up to P2 and Kozlowski.
Oh, I got to talk to Kozlowski.
Hey, that's just the way it's going to shake out, my man, but it's all good, though. I mean, it's all good in the hood. Nobody's mad. Everybody's happy here tonight.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because Al Kozlowski, we heard Kenny Powell just say that he's willing to do anything here.
But what a race it's been, man. It's really been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it definitely has been. Closing in, though, on the end of it. So all good things must come to an end. And I think Wayne Grassi's sitting there with his mouth watering right now. I think that he sees Al Kozlowski and Don Avery battling. He's like, I hope something goes wrong there. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, and this is what it's going to boil down to, because Grassi is running right now faster than both Avery and Kozlowski. So as this thing gets ready to wane out here for the next starts to go, give time.
I mean, yeah, you also, like you said, not over until we get that. Tell you right now, he's actually led 79 out of 134.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely, of course, he won stage 1 and stage 2, so definitely has been a fantastic showing here for this driver.
You think? I mean, that's a hat trick right there, Bubba. With 2 laps to go here before this thing is officially to circle a lot more.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree totally. He's definitely going to be careers. No, he doesn't. But, I mean, I think that a couple guys in that Saturday series fit that same mold.
Oh, yeah.
As your winner for the Trader Joe's 200. Definitely a fantastic showing. 7th place, Josh Schaffner. Definitely a good race there for Schaffner after what he had to deal with. 8th place, Darren Mullins. 9th place, Derek Jacobs. 10th place, Kenny Powell. Dave for DeCiani needed every.
At Farmers.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt.
What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our post-race show. We're going to be. How you feel?
Blocking going on, and I ate my tires up, and I didn't want to spin anybody, pull a tie on.
It seemed like it was quite dramatic out there. A lot of guys racing with a lot.
Bidding, but we did fine. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely seemed like you had a pretty good car out there, and yeah, definitely seemed like you had a pretty good car out there, and you know, there were a lot of that blinking, you know, stuff going on for sure. But anymore,
Last all the way up to lead that thing. I mean, the car's a rocket, but it's only a rocket for about all the way up to lead that thing. I mean, the car's a rocket, but it's only a rocket for about 23 laps.
well, I mean, it's something I think that you've improved at, though, wouldn't you say?
Me as a race winner. That's what
Well, I
Derek
mean,
and Don.
incremental improvement. It doesn't have to be a full, you know.
Racing better. Racing better.
100%, man. And I hope you don't mind. I'm a little bit unprepared. I think iRacing Super Speedway is next week. Is that right, Kenny?
I think you're correct. That's a track that me and Paul Olson usually are exceptionally good at. So I can't wait for that. So I had a little internet problem. He probably would have been, but SpeedwayAngels.com. You can check that
a little bit more.
I take children with disabilities and their families to the NASCAR races at my expense. Just one bit here, but majority of it comes right out of this pocket, and I'm still able to race at on this track here.
Well, it's definitely got to be very rewarding. Well, we appreciate you kind of talking.
Your Dukes up. You really qualified solid P2. But earlier on, you kind of got in a situation where you kind of brushed the wall there and caused a little bit of a ruckus. So without even having a lot of seat time, the setup was good enough that you were actually able to just come in here tonight, pick it up, and run with it, huh?
Yeah, we did a little bit of practice, probably for about an hour.
So speaking of issues, issues, what about the glitching? Was that a factor for you at any part of the race? Or that track, your track of tracks, or is that just a track that you're going to just kind of hang out? I mean, what are we expecting here from your team?
We'll put some more work in. This setup probably transfer over pretty good to Chicagoland with some adjustments on. So we'll see what happens.
Week in and week out, and you guys are definitely, I think it's time for a win, right? You guys will definitely do one. Definitely do one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but if I could prevent some of those mistakes, maybe I can finish a little further forward. Always shouting out to my wife Sherry. She watches every race. I think we got a green screen tonight.
Whoa.
Susan Media, who puts all this on. Awesome job.
Well, hey, bud, if it weren't for drivers like you, we probably wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So thank you as well. And
Marty, that was Don Avery, our second place finisher. I hate that if we were having an issue with the YouTube. Bateman definitely put on a clinic hat trick. I mean, you won stage one. You won everything right here tonight. Seemed like the setup was treating you right for sure. I mean, were there ever any handling difficulties? Or, I mean, I know you got a little tight earlier in the race. Did you make adjustments?
A couple handling difficulties as far as being stuck in traffic, but I mean that was all self-inflicted. Getting to the power too soon, trying to just it's something that the team put together for the setup this week. Said you got 30 laps or less to go. Throw this adjustment in on the perches, and the thing will fly. And I tell you, it was worth about another 2-3 tenths in the long run. This thing is awesome this week.
Yeah, definitely. The same kind of attributes from this racetrack. I mean, the top groove is something that you might be able to use also a step up, right?
Yeah, I think the last time we were here, I didn't finish the race. So this is definitely.
Me and Big Al were talking earlier. We was like, "Oh, we can't really bring that excuse out here tonight," but you kind of still did. Chicagoland next week. But can't wait to see it, man. Who can we give a shout out to after your nice win here tonight in the Trader Joe's 200?
A huge shout out to I mean, of course, my garage members at Team Conti Racing. We do Sunday test sessions every Sunday. You get a nice little, I mean, it's not a one-on-one with Michael Conti, but it pretty much is. He'll jump in your car, teach you how to drive the track, everything you need. I mean, we're always one of the fastest setups every single week. I don't know where you guys are getting them from, but this is the place.
All right. Well, definitely with your performance on the track here tonight, it definitely make sure